Welcome back to Catch Look, everybody. Today I'm here to review the movie The Meg, starring Jason Stathem. This movie is directed by John Turteltaub, I believe his name is, who also did the National Treasure movies with Nicolas Cage, which were pretty good. And he also did The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Nicolas Cage, which wasn't pretty good. So he's kind of hit or miss. He did the movie Phenomenon with John Travolta, super old. But I wouldn't say he's a director to get super excited about, but here he is bringing us The Meg. Apparently Eli Roth was originally attached to direct The Meg, but they opted against it, which is stupid. And apparently when they pitched this movie to Jason Stathem and they, gave him the script to read over to see if he'd enjoy it, it was a lot more violent and bloody, like a shark movie should be. I guess because they were afraid that a lot of people wouldn't go to see it, they got a more family-friendly director on board to try and make it more kid-friendly so that it could get the PG-13 rating and they can get more of an audience in, because this movie has a $150 million budget. Now, even if the movie makes $150 million, which it did, it had an incredibly successful opening weekend, making like globally $140-something million. But in order for a movie to be profitable, with it making back the money of the production budget, which is 150, it also has to make pretty much another 150. It has to make almost double what it costs to make it because of the advertisement and the trailers and all that stuff. It costs money. So unless this movie makes north of 300 million, it's not really going to be that profitable. But as of right now, it looks like it is going to be very profitable. But yeah, like I said, so they kind of dumbed this movie down and it hurt it. Now, before I get into that, this movie also stars Ruby Rose, which, congratulations to her. She's the new Batgirl, and I'm super excited. Cliff Curtis, Rainn Wilson from The Office and Super. And the only other standout really is Bingbing Li, who's like the main Chinese actress. She had like some of the most screen time next to Jason Statham, so shout out to her. I haven't seen her in a whole lot of anything. She was in one of the Transformers movies with Mark Wahlberg, I believe. Not the one that just came out, but the one before that. I don't know if it was Age of Extinction or the last. I'm pretty sure it was Age of Extinction. She was a badass in that. She's a badass in this. Regardless, she's a great fucking actor. And whoever plays her daughter in this movie is phenomenal. And I really want to see her in other movies because it's very rare that you get these young child stars that just act the hell out of a movie. And every time she was on screen, she was just great. And she really livened up the mood. Let's start with the actors. Jason Statham is very these are his movies. These are the movies he's in. He's always the tough, badass guy that gets the job done. And honestly, I love Jason Statham. He doesn't do anything outside of his reach to the point where I could be yeah, you should probably stick to action. He knows what he's good at. He sticks to it and he delivers. I love watching him in everything he's in. And I'm really excited to see him take on a shark. Although he did not punch the shark, I was a little upset to not see him punch or roundhouse kick it. But he does fight it one-on-one, and it's pretty epic in my opinion. Ruby Rose, I've seen a lot of people saying that she's a terrible actress lately, and all the movies she's in. I really don't think she's a terrible actress. I watched Orange is the New Black, and she was really good in that. I just think the last couple of movies she's been getting roles for, they're poorly written roles for her, so she doesn't get a chance to act, because she actually kind of surprised me in this. There's a scene where she has to really pull out of her emotions and cry, and I mean, she sold it, in my opinion. She was nothing special, but I'm pretty excited about seeing her portray Batgirl, especially since she's portraying the version that is a lesbian, and Ruby Rose is openly known as being lesbian. She came out of the closet at a very young age, and I'm excited to see this character get done justice. I think she's going to be fantastic. She's good at action, and, she always said she had a thing for, Batman and Batgirl growing up, so it's kind of like a dream come true, so I don't want to say I'm proud of her, but, kudos, congratulations. Rainn Wilson, Dwight Schrute from The Office is in this. He plays kind of the rich asshole that funded the entire underground research facility that exposed the Meg. He's okay in it, but he doesn't really have a whole lot to do. He's kind of annoying at some points, and he doesn't really seem like he fits in this movie. But that leads me to my overall problem with this movie, is that this movie doesn't fit with itself. This isn't a bad movie, because I did enjoy it, but I knew going into it from the whoever did the advertisement for Warner Brothers for this movie is a fucking genius, because if they advertise this like Jaws, it would have bombed. But they let you know this is just a movie you're going to go and enjoy. It's almost like an adventure rather than a horror. There are a couple jump scares, but nothing really. They did the whole Godzilla effect from, I think that movie came out 2015 or 2016, where you barely see it until like a little bit after the halfway mark. You know, they want to build that tension for when you finally do see it. There's a twist in there that I thought was kind of a cop-out. I'm not going to go into spoilers, obviously, but if you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, what the movie missed on, in my opinion, is it takes itself a little too seriously. And I mean, they advertise this movie as like this fun, like just shark eat 'em up, movie, and you don't really get a whole lot of that. It tries to throw in a lot of character development, and I mean, I guess I understand why they wanted to get like some emotional heartstrings pulled in there, but it just doesn't work. Like you're going into this movie because you want to see this shark going around and eating a bunch of people, and you want to see Jason Statham fighting it, but the whole first I'd say 60% of the movie is just a lot of it drags. It drags a lot. I mean, the first 10 minutes of the movie are good, but then the movie kind of really just grinds to a halt up until the scene you see in the trailer where the little girl's in that big glass hallway and you see the shark wrap his teeth around the glass. Then the movie finally picks up, and I think that once it picks up from there, it becomes very enjoyable again, but it still misses. I mean, you see in the trailer the scene where the shark is going towards the beach of all the people. Now, I'm expecting to see something like this, or like this, and, I want to see, maybe this makes me sound like a horrible person, but I want to see, the carnage. I want to see this thing opening up his mouth and just swimming into crowds of people, and you're just watching crowds of people, disappear into his throat. I wanted to see him do that, but really, and, not trying to go into heavy spoilers, that beach scene is a little bit of a disappointment. I mean, he does obviously get to eat some people, but it's not as extensive as I would have liked it to be. And in the back of my head, I feel like somewhere is a rough cut that was probably filmed rated R, where he does just fucking let loose and just attack everybody and kill hundreds and thousands of people just on that beach. But because they wanted to give it a PG-13 rating, it seems like they really dumbed it down to just a few little clips here and there. It almost feels like there were scenes where he was going to eat a bunch of people, and it kind of cuts away and shows something else. I don't know, it just didn't feel right. It was really kind of anticlimactic until the very end, where it finally becomes Jason Statham versus Shark. Fortunately, no, there's no roundhouse kick to the nose or anything, but he does have a really cool moment. Yeah, I don't know if more carnage would have made it rated R. I think another reason why they might have wanted to dumb it down is because you have things like Batman vs. Superman or Age of Ultron, where they're going to battle with these other beings, but they're killing millions of people in the process. Man of Steel, they were leveling skyscrapers filled with people. They're all dead. Age of Ultron, they lifted a whole fucking city and dropped it on its ass. Thousands of people died there too, and that was a big backlash at both Marvel and Warner Brothers. So I feel like Warner Brothers is kind of trying to learn from their mistakes and not be so carnage heavy. But when you go into a movie like Batman vs. Superman or Avengers, they're superheroes. They're supposed to be saving people, not killing them. And I get the whole they killed 1,000 to save 1 billion. And it's no, I don't want to hear none of that shit. Superheroes save everybody. Maybe 1 or 2 people, but not on that level. But the Meg, it's okay to get away with that big of a body count because it's a movie about a fucking killer shark. Let the thing we're going into this movie wanting to see that, as opposed to in Batman vs. Superman, I'm going into that wanting to see them save people. So again, it was a little bit of a letdown. It was a drag. I wouldn't say this movie is strictly only a rental, because I think this movie does deserve to get seen on a big screen. This is one of those movies where you get more for your buck for seeing it on this big, massive screen. If you can see it in IMAX, because you get to see more of it. I enjoyed the movie. I didn't hate it, but I'm going to have to give it a 6 out of 10. It's definitely worth going to the movie theater to see, but just really lower those expectations and know that you're not going to get you're not going to get a Piranha's 3D carnage count. There's actually not a whole lot of deaths in the movie. There's maybe there's a handful. I really can't get into any more without spoiling it. If anyone wants to see a spoiler review, I will release one. Let me know down in the comments down below. If you like this video, please subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you next time.